Let's go ahead and build this 60-gallon tank.
So here is the Innovative Marine IM60, the 60-gallon all-in-one that I got. As you can see, it definitely needs some help, and what we're going to do is get that done in this video. Now, after I have got it cleaned, you can see all the glass and the acrylic once I turn around here is clean, and I am re-siliconing the tank. Water test is going on, confirming there are no leaks with the new silicone that I added. We're good. Here's a picture of the stand that I built for the tank. Here it is on the stand inside the fish room. What I did was upgraded my pump from the standard one that comes from Innovative Marine to that Vectra.
Getting closer. I got another light coming so I could have a second one on here and then maybe a third, or run this tank underneath here. But got the media bags in there and everything like that, so we're getting close. So next week should be just fine. Let's take a deep dive of the controller board and basically just underneath the tank. There's the tank. So I built this board, this controller board here, and I made it a door because I want access to the cable. So you undo this latch, and it's got on this side here, it's got like a hinge, and this opens, and I can get behind here and access any cable, remove anything that I need, and then shut it back so it looks nice. That's part of the problem, actually. See, all of this is back here. I wish it was hidden better, but it is what it is. At least this part looks nice. I ran the RODI tubing to the ATO reservoir, and if you look back there on the other side of that wall is where the RO system is, and that plate there, I don't think we're going to be able to see it, but it's a plate that's meant for you to be able to go through multiple walls. It's got this felt in between, so it stops bugs and anything from coming through it. So I did that so that I could run over here, turn this on, and start filling this up when I need to. Over here we got the Ecotech equipment, got the MP10 on this side, we got the return, another MP10, and then this MP10 is for the 20-gallon tank. Got the Trident sitting here on the mount. Then we got the energy bars for this tank and some other parts of the tanks. This is for too. And I have everything all labeled because in case there's any kind of power outage or just anything, or I need to know where things are at, all I got to do is just look at the label and remove the plug if necessary. So that's definitely a nice little thing to have. On the plugs, I wanted to show you, they have this rotating feature. See how it's turning like this? It is part of the design where the prongs go in and this rotates so you can set them exactly how you want. See that? Very, very nice. Helps to be able to fit into tight spots. I will have a product link in the description. You'll see where the products are, so definitely check that out if you're interested. I think that they're great. There are other options, but they don't have the rotating feature, so you might be limited. So it might be here like a flat style like this, but the cord comes like this, so it kind of limits your ability to use them nicely, I guess, and keep the cords clean. So I like these better. There's the ATO system. Now on the dosing equipment, I'm using the Kimura, I think it's the X1 Pro. They're discontinued now, but they work really great for me. Got this, the reservoir for the additives. We have magnesium, calcium, and for the alkalinity control and supplementing these, I use all for reef. I love it. I think it's awesome stuff. Basically, I dose this, and then these are to help make any corrections that this doesn't quite make, because it does a great job, but sometimes you need a little bit of the others. I always have some extra mixed onto the side here when I make a batch, so that when it gets low, I can add it. That's the waste for the Trident, obviously. I added this FMM module. It's to be able to give me more control over things like, you could see it says 60 gallon ATO. That is for that sensor, so when it gets below that, I get a warning to remind me I need to fill it up. Tried it and just turned on. And let's see, what else did I plug in here? The 20 gallon ATO next to me, the RODI flow sensor. So when I see that running, I know, hey, there is a water flowing, so I could check and make sure there's no leaks or something. Here, installed this PM1. I wanted it for the temperature. I found it on, I think it was eBay. It was very inexpensive, but I wanted it to be able to control the temperature, or not control the temperature, but to see what the temperature was. Even though I have the Inkbird, I wanted a redundancy in case I was out of town and I needed to get a better feel of it. And I did get a pH probe that I will put there, since that's what this is. Might as well use it. So all in all, that is the underside of the tank. Oh, I did run these. These are plugged in already and ran here. And I did run this through there and through the section to go over to the RO system where the waste is also. I might do an auto water change on here down the road, and it's here just in case. And I'll be able to put the dose right there.
What I ended up doing was I picked up some rock from, I believe it's Aquaforest, and broke it into chunks, and I cemented it together into this scape for the tank. Before that went into the tank, this was some footage of this tank as my coral quarantine tank. The yellow tang was swimming around, which was great. Definitely a beautiful fish, as we all know, to have, with lots of benefits. But this is the coral that was in that 20 gallon tank you saw earlier into the 60 gallon. It did perfect as a coral quarantine tank. As you can see, here's another shot, another angle. But I did want to convert it to a reef, which you could see here. I added the rock that I made into the tank. I added it there, got the sand added to it, and I gotta say, I think it looks fantastic. Got some footage of the yellow tang, just more of the coral, as you can see. Just an exciting thing once you can go and get that reef started. So here's another angle. Just enjoying it. Hope you guys are all enjoying it as well. I wanted to have just a giant wall of hammers, that's why I did that on the left side, and have some scolies and acans and things like that on the right side of the tank. The colors on it, how purple and gold, that's the Lakers hammer, at least that's what I call it. Top down shot of the tank, which you got to do that. You got to shut off the pumps and get a top down shot. Everything looking fire as always. All my mushrooms. Been enjoying keeping the mushroom corals as well. Got that beautiful rainbow acan on the top there. Hopefully it will really color up, being in higher par, but we will see as time goes on. Panning out now. I think it looks good. You guys could put in the comments what you think, but I think it's a fantastic start to the reef conversion on this tank. Now check the rocks out in this shot. You can see that there is discoloration. This is pretty typical, but upon further look, you can see there is like a fuzz growing on the rocks. My first guess was maybe it was just diatoms, because that kind of stuff happens. You can see here's another shot. But after looking into it more, it seems like maybe it was something else. You could see there's some bubbles on it and it's a little stringy, kind of. Nothing too crazy, but enough that it makes me go, maybe it is not diatoms. So going forward, I was watching it. I took a sample from the tank and you can see under the slide, it is dinos. After talking to some people online, Lo and behold, the dry rock that went into the tank absorbed all the nutrients and caused the dinos.
Current state, cyano everywhere, but dealing with the dinos, obviously that's a good thing. The dinos are definitely starting to go down. Oh, this big guy split on me. So let's take a quick peek at the tank. As you guys can see, it looks absolutely terrible. I have been fighting dinos in this tank. I just cleaned this so you could see the difference. All of those bite looking marks there are from the lawnmower blending inside the tank. You know, the corals are still looking good, which is fantastic, but you can just see that the dinos are just absolutely destroying this this tank. But we're on the mend. See all that? We are treating that with some water glass because that's the type of dinos that they are. You got to get a microscope to check that. But let's go ahead and shut the flow off and get a little better shot. So I just turned the flow off on the tank, and let's go ahead and take a look at the sand so you can see all of that brown stuff. It is not diatoms, it is the dinos. And over here you could see some of the pink red, that's going to be some cyano. There is some green showing in some spots, which like right over there next to that cup, which is what we want, because that means new algae is developing, which is going to outcompete the dinos in the tank. Now interesting, this side where there is barely any light getting down there, no dinos growing. But the corals are looking good, which is fantastic. If you do look here, you will see a bunch of looks like turf style algae, some bubble algae growing. So once I get the dinos under control, what we're going to do is introduce a bunch of snails to get this cleaned up. But here, there, look at that. That is just some nasty, nasty stuff. It's on all of them. So progress is coming along.
Thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, and don't forget, check the products out in the description below. Stay tanked.